God, niggas still coping. Fell from grace so many times, niggas still chosen. From a city where we pray the angels walking with us. But every time you leave the house, your pistol still loaded. I'ma die a legend like a young Sinatra. Lot of struggles on my mind, stress is never stopping. And I like my girls toxic.
What's up, world? We're at the Live to Be Legendary podcast. I'm your boy, Fresh the Legend, and my co-host, Scoe. Today's guest, legend himself, engineer, producer, hip-hop pioneer. We're gonna do something different with him. Our conversation with him is gonna give it the whole era of Philadelphia, from the Beanie Sigel era to the Kur PnB Rock era to the era now. Without him, without his existence on this planet, you wouldn't hear a lot of songs you hear now, a lot of records you hear now, and that's how powerful he is. If he wasn't here, you wouldn't get a lot of hits. So this guy is Philly hip hop. He is the background. He is the sound. He is legendary. Good up, y'all, for my guy, P.I. All right, so we just talked about, his background and then him having major placements, right? We didn't even get into his hand in the Philly scene.
Right.
So before we get to that, I want to say, you go on his gram, shout out, P.I. Moneybags. I respect his gram because the gram shows his journey.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about the pictures, you can't lie. His gram will show that he can't lie. He's very humble because if I had his gram, I'd be popping it. It's like a Charlie Mack gram. It's like everybody in the industry, I feel like he has a picture with, a placing with, a record with, or have recorded with him. So I want to talk about the 444 days.
Okay.
So were you there under, I'm just asking questions, under the Freeway Gilly time?
No, that was around, but before we get to 444, I was down Manioc. So,
what was the Manioc?
So that was still, I was on 126 Leverington, so I believe that's the Hit Factory, the Heat Factory.
Oh, Heat Factory, yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to them. But I built the studio before it was that. So long story short is, I was there with a partner of mine, and that's where it kind of got going. You know what I'm trying to say? That's where those records, were recorded,
Who you recorded at the Heat Factory? Well, prior
No, it was E-Starties. My studio is called ER Studios, Emergency Room. So that stands for Emergency Room, you know what I'm saying? And my actual name is David Rivera. So, it was like a thing, come see the doctor. You know what I'm trying to say? So ER, Emergency Room is like a whole,
That's fine.
That's
fine.
Funny.
So who you recording there?
So long story short, fast forward.
Let me know.
At the 444, at the
ER.
you would start there as far as the Philly run. You know what I'm saying? That's where, the Lee Masons was born. That was one of the, we started that.
Shout out Lee Masons, South Philly.
Yeah, shout out to Lee Masons, super dope artist, you know what I'm saying? And her run, helped out a lot with that. That's where that was going on. That's where stuff was, going up, and I was there with a partner, and that's where J, Freeway, a bunch of records, you know what I'm saying? So before we got to the 444, I was there for like 4 or 5 years, and then that went left as far as with my partner, and then, God take little things in your hands and put bigger things in them.
Yeah.
And, I had ran into the opportunity to go down to the 444.
And that's where the magic happened. That's like the core PnB Rock, Lil Uzi era.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying in my intro, where
That's the shit I want to,
yeah, like PnB Rock, RIP him.
Right.
Right though.
You had a big bond with him, Lil Uzi. This is before, Mean Street, and Kur before Kur just kind of just went as far as nationwide, but you had him when he was, still.
Yeah, but Kur's been on fire in the city since about then too. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said, nationwide.
Yeah,
citywide.
local before that.
They all
local.
kind of went on their different. Now, he's getting this moment for sure. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. But
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about PnB Rock. So how was that when you first met him? And I didn't even know that PnB was like a gang, a movement. I didn't even know that. I thought he was just the only PnB.
I didn't know at the time neither. I just knew, him as far as the way I met PnB Rock. I believe they was already, running and moving around, but at the time we were working on the Omelly project, Guns and Butter, and the studio's popping. You know what I'm trying to say? So people would stand, outside the studio for hours trying to, see an Omelly or see Meek come out or something.
Playing the let out and all that.
Right. You know, trying to play that, trying to play that that hallway, see somebody come in. You know what I mean? So long story short is. PnB Rock played the hallway one night, and he was out there, and shout out, I believe, RIP, my man Hemo Brown. He was at the studio, And he comes in, he's like, "There's this kid in the hallway, y'all." Like we record, it's like 30 deep in the studio, shout out to Omelly and the gang. And we in there going, he's like, "This cat you got here."
So what, was it a hallway singing or something?
No,
like what?
I'm
How
not
they?
sure how the hallway.
Yeah, like how that go down?
Like I said, they would play the hallway because a lot of cats would come.
Yeah.
We had the Truman at the time. So long story short is, they would play right there. So he got in the room. When he got in the room, recorded three. I want to say 5, but 4 songs.
Crazy one.
Crazy, yeah. And that was one of them was "I'm the One."
Yeah.
And that's when that joint went crazy. Y'all can look that up, but. That was like one of the first viral moments when after that, sent the song to Meek, and Meek posted it, like with all the that's when the DC was on a whole nother level. Not saying it's not now, you know what I'm saying, but
it was different. Like, the wave was different back then.
Video, it wasn't a lot of the content level wasn't at that level yet, you know what I mean. So I think it was on Twitter. I'm not even sure, maybe Instagram, but he posted a video with all his chains and rollies and money. Next thing you know, Cali reposted them, and a bunch of people started reposting them.
And that's it.
And PnB Rock was born that night.
Wow.
Damn.
I mean, before that he was him, but that's nice.
But that was solidified.
That was one of his first viral moments for sure.
So did you record any of his projects?
I recorded a couple records. I didn't record his projects.
Couple records.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
It kind of went different ways around that time.
Which ones you record?
It wasn't able to get there, you know what I'm saying? There was some Philly things going on, and that got fixed, but
I didn't even know you recorded Omelly. So, did you ever record Meek Mill before?
Yeah. I recorded Meek for sure.
What's some of these tracks you recorded? Can you name them or not?
Oh man, it's hard to record. I recorded records on DC2, DC3.
Yeah.
I recorded records for Omelly, for DC Stamp, everything Omelly ever did. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of freeway shit. Most of the core stuff.
All right. So you met PnB Rock like that. How did you meet Kur? Y'all locked in too. I seen all of that.
Oh man, Kur.
I love Kur,
my brother.
man. Shout out Kur, man.
One day he came and just knocked on my door.
Knocked on your house?
Knocked on the door.
Studio joint?
Yeah, so long story short, people, the whole DC camp used to be locking in at the studio from time to time. So I heard about Kur through Meek. Meek had posted him at the studio, had put a picture up, and then he was like, he would say, yo, watch out for this cat type. So I was on to him already. But long story short is, he knocked on my door one day. I believe he had like an issue with the studio, and he was like, yo, P.I., I need to get in with you, like right now. You feel me? Him and his man. And he paid for some time right there and then, and we got in. The rest is history.
How you know Kur was special? What did you hear that made you?
The first time I recorded him, I forgot the record it's called. We talk about it all the time. It was like it's a Leah sample. I think it was Dougie on the Beat produced it, and I looked over. The kid was just going. I was like, the fuck?
Different.
All
right, got another name. Lights, cameras. A lot of y'all know about Lights, but he Lights Camera originally, and y'all locked in heavy. That's one of my
shout out to Lights.
That's my good friends.
Going
up right now. How you meet Lights, man?
Oh man, I met Lights in the beginning as well. Lights was going up, and when he decided to go crazy, shout out to RIP to Qua. You know what I'm saying? He had came and hollered at me, and they introduced me to Lights, and we locked in. You know what I'm saying? Since the beginning.
Qua's Lights' first manager that he had. He passed away. You know what I'm saying? Real good guy.
Yeah.
Backed him.
Hell yeah.
Y'all see the errors? Hold up, we got one more.
Yeah, that's a. Whew.
Last one, Scoe. On this one, Lil Uzi.
Right.
Was he always Lil Uzi?
Facts.
Okay. So how was he? Because you met him through before his evolution, I assume.
Right. The first time I met Uzi, shout out that he was signed to Cuts and DJ Buzz at the time, I believe so. And they came and met with me. He wanted to record, and we had got in. It was like beginning. Obviously I recorded after that. He's been on Melly projects and different projects. I've ran into him a couple times. So.
Is there anybody that you wanted to record that time that you didn't, or anybody that you recorded and you was really like excited? He's humble, but like, oh my, this somebody I really want to record.
What do you mean?
Say basically, is anybody that you wanted to record like in Philly that you was like, I want to record?
That I wasn't recording.
Yeah. Somebody you want to get in the studio with that you ain't get a chance to.
I feel like you recorded everybody.
Yeah, all the folks you want to be in with. Like,
I was probably locked in where everybody was supposed to be locked in with at the time.
That's a blessing.
I'm not like I'm just keep it a buck. Like you just named a lot of different situations, a lot of people, different people where like you just there, and it should work out.
Cool, knocking on my door.
Yeah, like he knocked on my door. Like that don't happen to regular people. Like, and your favorite line, we gonna keep it long story short. No, tell me the fucking story.
I'm telling you.
Look at all these moments.
I peep that you heavy as hell in your faith.
Yeah.
I can't say hell and faith in the same joint, but you super heavy in your faith. Like,
for sure.
So if you wasn't P.I., the producer, the engineer,
Right.
Mr. in the right place at the right time, keep a long story short, where would you be? Who would you be? What would you be doing?
I don't know.
Was that even ever a thought in your mind?
I'm gonna keep it real. I always like, I do music because I love music.
Right.
Not because I make $1 off it or, anything else.
Right.
So I'm gonna always do music regardless. At what level?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is the conversation, I guess, at that point. But if I wasn't necessarily, I can't really even answer the question because I don't know what else. I don't know anything else.
And I'm saying, well, did you ever try to get on the mic? Pause. I'm saying, like, if you love music, it's about that.
No, as far as like being an artist.
Yeah. You ever thought about that?
No, that's not for me.
No. Shit, I feel like it's a rite of passage. Like we all done tried at least
for
once.
sure. No. I get it. I mean, I'm a producer, so I write records, I write hooks and stuff like that. I help people, stuff like in that frame of mind. But I'm not an artist. I wouldn't put a record out ever.
You ghostwritten before?
I mean, I wouldn't call it ghostwriting. I've helped, I've co-written.
Got your pen and something?
Yeah, for sure.
So my thing is, if you got placements, if you have all these celebrities that you've recorded with, he has his own studio, he has about 4 rooms in it, different rooms, and his event space inside. How do you stay hungry knowing that I feel like you already accomplished your goal?
Yeah, and humble, like.
You already stamped.
I mean, I would
certified.
I think
literally.
Being stamped and like, I think goals change from time to time, as you evolve. I think we live, we learn, we always, we learn and we live and we grow every day, right? So we forever changing. You know what I'm saying? So we're evolving. At that point, I think you got to stay focused and stay tunnel vision to a certain extent. And, emotional highs are great. When we are emotionally high, and we feeling good. It's like it's like the New Year's. Everybody got New Year's resolution. It's like, yeah, this shit we gonna fuck them up.
Right.
But there's a quote that was told to me, and it stuck with me always. It's like, when motivation goes out the window, discipline has to kick in. And when discipline goes out the window, motivation comes back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you feel I'm trying to, you kind of catching my drift. So sometimes you have to like, you got to know your purpose and what you doing it for. If you, you see to me, if you base it on applause, it's going to be crazy, man. When they stop, when they get silent, you're going to get lost out here, And I think, having a strong faith in the Creator is one of the biggest things in what I do, because, he aligns my footsteps. Right. He puts me around the right. Like, one of the biggest things when I pray is like, bring the right team around me, bring the right people around me. You kind of get that, because a lot of people come when it's going, and it's like, everybody has a good story. Everybody is, I could do this, show me, give me that discernment, give me that wisdom. So I think that for me is what's motivating me to keep going. And like you said, we just bought a building a couple years ago, and we've been developing that for the last 4 or 5 years, you know what I'm saying? So that's where, I kind of been the past 4 or 5 years is doing that.
Real quick, tell the people how, even myself, tell me, how'd you go from 444 to your building? Like, why was you need 444? That job was like a gold mine. I hated that it shut down.
I love the 444. It was a great time for me and for, what I was doing. But like I said, I think, there's things as you grow, you see, like, me being a top or a high level engineer here in Philadelphia, flying out to work on a lot of projects, you fly out to different cities. I'm always getting called to fly, here, come to LA, come, Miami, come to Atlanta, or come here, come there. And you fly and you get there, and it's like they take you into this building, or they take you to this spot, and for me, I always thought like it's always been an ambition. Like, man, I gotta get my own joint. You know what I mean? Why we don't got this back home?
Right.
This is crazy.
Right.
I'm sorry,
You know
what do you
what
mean
I'm
by that? A building versus like you had it 4 is a building. I'm confused.
Yeah, but I
Sorry.
don't own the building.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I don't
okay,
own the real
okay.
estate.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Keep
So
writing that.
you know that's it's a legendary studio we was at. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. It was built by Rough House. You know what I'm saying. After that it was Jazzy Jeff and all them, and then it was Dre Vidal, Carbon Eye, all that, and then it was us. Would have stayed there forever. Legendary, studio, Michael Jackson's,
Right.
Music Soul, Scott, all that kind of stuff happened there, and it has great nostalgia. But just like Sigma Sounds, I don't know if they closed that down. That was sad. That was
Bernard
a sad
Parker,
moment.
man.
Yeah, shout out to Bernard.
Yeah.
That was a sad moment in Philadelphia history because that was one of like ground zeros.
Janet Jackson recorded
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Like Gamble and Huff was kind of born there. You know what I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to
didn't
tell
know
you?
that.
Yeah, that was before before Philadelphia International. They produced there. They made the Jacksons, all those people. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I ain't know
when
that.
Michael Jackson and them were born.
Yeah, I ain't know
Hold
that.
on,
Whoa,
hold
whoa,
on.
whoa.
Well, he teaching now. What's the difference between Sigma Sounds and Larry Gold?
So Larry Gold was born in my studio, and I mean that the studio that at the 444 at the time. Larry Gold is a legendary string player, and he has the studio over there on 7th Street that's now what's the
Milk Boy.
Milk Boy, correct. So Larry Gold was was an engineer, also a string player, but he at the Rough House built the original studio at 444, and that's Chris Schwartz and them, the Schwartz, and they had a label called Rough House, and they had their lead engineer, and they were responsible for like Criss Cross, Jermaine Dupri, all that, the Fugees, all that kind of stuff. Fast forward, their top head engineer was this guy named Joe Nicolo, and his intern was Larry Gold.
Gotcha.
So if you ever went to the 444 across the hall, it was an identical room, and that room was made because he loved that room so much. He wanted his own, so they built him his own. And then from there, fast forward in time, he got his own floor. He had bought a floor over there on 7th Street, and he made the rooms identical. And that's why I had that feeling. But long story short, and that's where, most of the sound of Philadelphia was born from that point, from after the soul era of the Philadelphia International days, So that's the main biggest studio here in Philly now. So then it's Milk Boy now. But yeah,
So what do you think they got all the stuff they put in Sigma Sound? Because it was like plaques and.
Oh man, that was effed up, man. That should have been when they make something historical.
Yes.
Yeah, that should have been a landmark right there.
Damn.
Can't lie about that. But long story short is that should have been a landmark. Then the Philly International that burnt down. That's where the Kimmel Center is now. And long story short, so it hasn't been another building in Philadelphia for the arts. By us and for us since
Philly
then.
International was where the Kimmel Center.
That's where the Kimmel Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still on the ground if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but
Wait, so Philly actually burnt down?
I believe. Yeah. Philadelphia
I didn't know
International
that.
had burnt
Yeah,
down.
nah.
Yep. I got the record there before it burnt down. That was a legendary spot.
This is crazy.
Live to be Legendary is proudly sponsored by Philly Real Estate Services and Solutions. Are you a Philadelphia landlord in need of expert landlord-tenant services? Look no further. Philly Real Estate Services and Solutions is here to represent you in landlord-tenant court, ensuring a smooth and hassle-free experience. Give them a call at 610-235-7998. Again, the number is 610-235-7998.